Welcome back to episode 3 of Chasing Whiskey.
I'm James.
And I'm Terry, and we have another bottle. This week we have Auchentoshan, a single malt Scotch. And there we go.
Yes.
Why do some people add water to their whiskey?
So we did a little research, and water, where I was actually trying to avoid water, water is a big deal, and water is a good thing. In fact, it's such a good thing that there are specialty waters available that you can pair with scotches from different regions.
Speaking of Scotch.
Yes.
Stop talking. You keep talking. I'm
Oh,
going to
yes.
open the bottle.
So we found two schools of thought. One, that the water can actually sort of trap any of the tastes or things that you don't want to taste. Similarly, on the other side, that water can accentuate or bring to the surface
Glycerol or?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And it makes the whiskey more pleasant. Now,
The whiskey.
you have to be careful what water you use. You don't want to use tap water, so you should find the most filtered, pure water that you can.
So our brand name filter from your local convenience store wasn't
The one we
sufficient?
used before, yeah, no, that's not cool. And free-handing it is also not. And literally a few drops. And they.
Oh, really?
They say that that will open up the whiskey,
Okay.
which I still don't understand, but maybe that's the, bringing that whatever
Yes.
to the surface, so you can smell it and taste it, and so I guess that's what it means when you open it up.
Okay. What do you think of this? What do you think of the bottle? What do you think of the box?
Let's see.
Don't read. Try not to read.
I'm not
Don't
reading.
get biased.
I'm not reading. I do. Oh, look, that's how you pronounce it.
Auchentoshan.
Auchentoshan.
Okay, good. We kind of almost did it right.
American oak. Yeah,
Stop reading.
it's good.
But what do you think? So again, not tube, but a box looks nice. I think it looks good. Color looks nice in the bottle.
Yeah, this is my second favorite part of doing this, is seeing the bottle.
presentation.
Yeah, it's
I
a
agree.
very interesting bottle. It's
It's different shape than what we're used to, right?
yeah, it's actually flat on the sides, which is kind of
Yeah, it looks like it's a really big bottle, but it's just fat and narrow, right?
it's like a
Feels good in
racing
the hand.
car. Racing car.
Feels really good in the hand, right? Big hand, small hand.
Sorry.
And it's embossed at the bottom with the distillery name at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not, but see a bit of
1823.
embossing. And
All right.
yeah, it looks good.
So what do you think of the color?
I think it looks good. I think it's I don't know, it seems like they all seem kind of golden when they have the white glass or clear glass. I don't know if that's...
Well, our last one was more weedy,
Yeah, this is a little darker than the last one, I
this is
think.
definitely darker.
But it's a different shaped bottle too. Let's put it in the glass and see if it makes a difference.
That's a good
And
idea.
our fancy glasses that we figured out last week are actually tasting glasses. We still don't know how much to pour. We're probably going to pour too much. Well, we'll eventually pour too much.
Just a wee dram.
Yeah, we need to figure out what dram means.
I'm guessing that this is a wee dram.
I would think so. Cheers. Well, smell first. Like the color before you start
Oh,
sucking it back.
what do you smell?
Oh, that's nice.
I immediately sensed, and we haven't read the box or the bottle. We're testing our own palettes here.
Well, before you get into it, color. So it's definitely darker than last week's, but it's still quite light. It's
definitely darker.
I wouldn't even call it. It's almost more gold. I don't know what we called last week's. Hopefully, we didn't just call it gold. I think we said wheat. This is definitely darker.
Yeah, the last one was more on the light yellowish side. This is definitely a dark golden.
This is more of a gold for sure.
And it's actually consistent with the first thing that I smelled.
Honey. Is that what you smell? That's not what I was smelling. But I'm thinking you're thinking honey because you...
Now that you say it,
It's sweet.
I smell a little, but immediately it jumped into my mind was caramel.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty confident about this one.
Now that you say it.
So now we need
So
to...
is it the power of suggestion or is it truly? Cheers. Ooh, that is nice. I like that.
This one
like
impresses
them
me.
all.
This is interesting because this tastes so different than the last ones that we did.
Yeah, I agree. It's very different than the last one for sure. 2 weeks ago, hard pressed to truly remember. We'll have to eventually.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
that's part of my journey here. Is I am
to remember?
remembering.
I'll need to go back and watch to remember. It really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Like it doesn't stick around at all. Like it.
Very pleasant finish.
Yeah, I like that. That is really nice.
So what are you tasting? We're speechless.
Am I tasting my lunch or am I tasting this? That's what I'm confused about. Here's a question. For those of you who have a much more sophisticated palate, what's the way to prepare your palate for Scotch tasting?
Pizza?
Probably not.
I'm not sure how to describe this one. It's very good. It's so different. Yet
it is very different, but very pleasant. It's got a little bit of sharpness on the very back end right before you swallow it. Do you feel that? But not the burn. Like it's not a strong alcoholic burn, but it's certainly you can tell it's strong. I mean, it's only what 40%, right? I think it was. You can tell it's alcohol when it's just about to go down your throat. So at the very back of your tongue, it has a little bit of a tiny bite, but it's not unpleasant. It's very, very nice. I honestly don't know. Maybe it's the COVID test. Maybe if I can't smell anything, maybe I have.
Well, I definitely smell and taste it. But
But what? We just don't have a sophisticated enough palate. It's not that we don't have a sophisticated palate. We don't have the history of knowledge of what things do taste like to have that memory of
isn't that what
things
sophisticated palate is?
I don't know.
All right, I think we have to read and see if...
So let's just give it one more try.
Okay.
So smell, what do you smelled caramel. I smelled honey only because you said it smells like what color it is. But I actually smell two things now. I certainly smell so sweet, but I also smell something that's not sweet at all. I want to say it's like a rose or something almost, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's very clean.
Yeah, extremely, if that's a word. And for taste?
Sweet, clean, very pleasant. It's very consistent the whole way through. There's no bitter aftertaste or anything.
Yeah, and there's no, and it's not the sweetest I've ever had at all. Not at all, not even nearly, but it's very nice. Maybe, I think for us, we should probably try different things, like adding a bit of water, adding ice, removing ice, I don't know, different things to see if it changes for us. And maybe not even on the camera. Maybe do some experimenting between episodes to see if we can get our skills a little higher, because right now we're just showing you us drinking, which, as enjoyable as that is,
Yeah, enjoyable for us.
Oh yeah, if you're not having fun, doesn't really change our time.
It's quite a bit milder than the Aaron was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the Aaron was also what? Is 56%. This is 40. So I mean that makes sense as well, right? It's an easier sip, for sure. But it also, it's definitely more pleasant. All right, let's see what they say.
Okay.
It says you're holding on to one of the. Well, now I have to hold it. It says you're holding on to one of the only triple distilled single malt Scotch whiskies. We've been creating Auchentoshan in the city since 1823. Auchentoshan, let it roll off your tongue. Whichever the world
Which is what you said.
Yeah. The finest wood, our classic American oak single malt Scotch whiskey, is mellowed in the finest bourbon casks, sourced from American distilleries. The result of the smooth, perfectly balanced lowland single malt. We'll have to get used to the map because we have lowland, we have an isle, we have a. I don't know what that one was. I can't remember now. It had a map on it. We'll have to look. Anyway, a lowland single malt with subtle notes of coconut, vanilla, and rich toffee. So toffee is caramel.
Toffee. I picked up the toffee.
You pick it up as, so that's definitely a smell. And it's funny, vanilla and coconut.
But it's always vanilla and coconut.
I know. So I was saying I had a bit of rose, but the question is that really the Scotch, or is it like just, the air freshener of our neighbor? I mean, who knows? I mean, anyway. They've actually have great notes at the bottom. So we make this over here so I don't knock it over. So at the bottom they have not only tasting notes, but color notes, tasting notes, and aroma notes. So look at that. So it basically says the color is golden amber. We definitely said it's way more golden than anything else we've had so far. On the nose, vanilla coconut and fresh citrus zest. Did you get citrus zest at all? I didn't.
I just got the caramel.
Yeah. You did better than I did. Tastes smooth, we both said that, but vibrant with vanilla cream, coconut, and white peach. White peach? What the heck's a white peach? Have you ever had a white peach? All the peaches I've had have been peach colored, hence the name peach. And then finish, rich toffee with a touch of spice.
What came first, the color or the fruit? Orange?
You know what? There's a great board game we've been playing called Hues and Cues, which you have to describe the color using words, and I'm like, you're not allowed to use tangerine. They're like, no, that's a fruit. I'm like, so is orange. We get into that fight every night that we play the game. But yeah, so that's very interesting. Rich toffee with a touch of spice. So I would agree on the very finish, it's pretty smooth and consistent, but there's a slight different taste at the very end, and I think that was describing that as that little back end taste. Okay? There's something back there after you swallow. The very, very end, it's a little different, and maybe that's the spice they're talking about. I was describing it as like you can feel it as alcohol, but maybe that's not what it is. Maybe it's spice.
No, there's definitely the spice there, isn't
It's
there?
after, right? It's right when you're just swallowing or just when you finish swallowing. It's definitely not when it's still swirling around in your mouth. It's very, very good. What do you think? Pour another?
I think we should have another. And
right.
we can talk about...
Nice watch, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Nice shirt.
Thank you.
Just a
That's a
little
wee dram. No, it's fine. Except for me.
Oh.
Much better. Oh, alcohol abuse. Not that that's a joking matter. That's a joking matter, but drink responsibly.
All right. Did you read the back?
No, I didn't. I tried to cheat and read, but it actually...
Okay, so I think it's the same thing.
I shouldn't say I did try it. It's more of the history of what they do. It's not the flavors
Now,
of the tasting.
Triple distilled, single malt. I've seen people distill and they put it through, and so every time you do, it gets cleaner.
More refined, cleaner.
But I'm not sure what single malt means.
I don't know. I'm thinking it has to
Single,
do
double
with, I don't know. The batch goes in once. I don't know. We need to figure that out.
Maybe for next week we can look up what is a single malt, double malt.
I had a different question for next week, but we'll use that one instead.
Okay. These basics though are, like I just and I love the history. I mean,
I know.
Are we drinking something that's literally been evolving or being crafted since 1823? Like that's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
200 years.
Well, the distillery, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, they could have completely modernized equipment now and rebuilt the entire building. But the history, I don't know. Maybe
the recipes or the process.
That's a good point, yeah. Then the region and the way they've done it, for sure, yeah. First and second fill bourbon casks. Interesting.
It's also a very interesting name.
Auchentoshan, which doesn't sound Scottish to me, but maybe I'm just not well versed in Scottish history. Cheers.
Yeah, it sounds... Cheers.
Sounds more German or Polish or...
It's funny, that first drink out of the bottle tastes a little harsher.
Different than this one.
Yeah.
Why is that? Okay, so Have you tried this? You know, let us know what you think of it. What did you taste? What did you think of it? Did it get better over time? Is it something that we need to let, you know, breathe or air? Is it something we should add water to? So let us know. We don't know what we're doing.
Are we pronouncing it right?
Yeah, we don't get into that. We're going to get every accent trying to tell us how to pronounce it.
Auchentoshan.
Auchentoshan. I don't know. Whatever.
1823. I like it. Okay, so our rating.
Okay, so I bought this. And so would you buy it again? So do you want to know the price first, or do you want to tell me whether or not you will buy it again without knowing the price?
No, I think I have to be unbiased.
Okay.
It's good. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
I'm not sure. What I liked about last week's, the Aaron, was I'm looking forward to drinking that again. And not that I'm not, and my palate is going to evolve over.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I remove the I would prefer to buy something else with would I buy it again?
Maybe we need a different rating scale. I can at least put a fancy graphic on this one, but if we need a different rating scale, I'm not sure. Or maybe you need to know the price to determine whether or not you buy it again. So maybe we need to say, would you want it on your shelf? You didn't buy this, right? I bought it. So would you?
I think I would. Well, there are definitely, I'm sure we're going to come across whiskeys where we're not going to want it. It doesn't fit our current palate.
Currently, most things that are PD I wouldn't want. I'm hoping over time I learn to like a few PD ones, but...
So this one fits my palate right now.
Yeah, I agree. Would you buy it again?
I would buy it again.
Okay. So it's retails for $55 here in Canadian dollars. And I like a good bargain, so it was on sale. I paid 46.
Wow, that is
so
incredible.
Under $50 in a box. That's in
nuts.
Canada. That's tough to do.
Well, yeah.
I'm a sucker for a sale.
I would definitely, at full price, I think it's value.
I think it's good value, yeah.
And I also like it because it fits our palate, and it's so dramatically different than other whiskeys that are also in our palate.
Yeah, and it's easy to drink. So if you had someone new who wasn't into whiskey and you wanted to show them a new whiskey.
In fact, it's a little softer, I would say. It might be a good entry.
Yeah. It's not, it's certainly not like the Aaron.
The Aaron
is not you don't want to give that to someone for the first time without.
I love the Aaron.
Maybe as a cocktail or something.
So far, I think Aaron is my favorite.
It's funny. I was torn. We added too much water at the end.
Yeah, that.
I've been wanting to have a drink out of that bottle ever since that episode ended. And I haven't touched it, as you can see. It's still to the same level. I have drank some low shelf things that were stored in a box for a while.
Well, I have a confession.
What's that? You went and bought it?
I bought a bottle of Aaron.
Good for you. Cheers. All right, so weekly tip. We had brought up a bunch of stuff. What's our tip this week? Do we have a tip?
I think it's around water. And I think we need to investigate in a little experimentation, finding the right amount of water.
Yeah.
Maybe even finding the right water and the tool.
You mentioned a different dropper, right? So
what is it? The pipette?
I guess that's the right word. Yeah. You're reminding me of like grade 10 chemistry class.
Is that
I think that's the right word for a certain type of dropper.
And there are some very fancy ones that cost as much as a bottle of whiskey.
Okay, so I don't want the one that you use to inject an infant with medicine down their throat.
Yeah,
but I don't want something that costs the same as a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, I'd rather invest in that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find something in between.
But for tools, I think we should invest.
Okay. I bought the glasses last time. Maybe you should buy the dropper or the pipette. How's that? Fair deal?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, and then we'll play with some water and see. And learn how much we need to put in, because we certainly don't have that skill right now.
A few drops, depends on the alcohol content, maybe the whiskey.
Okay. And maybe what we should do every time is try it with and without, just to see if it changes it. Because I even noticed the second glass of this was very different than the first glass of this. And I don't know if it's because the alcohol's now on your tongue, you've relaxed a bit, I don't know, or if it's just opened up more.
I think you maybe should breathe like that.
Is that true?
Well, I don't know. The first drink out of when we first poured, it was a little more powerful than.
Yeah, I know it's certainly smooth now, and I can start to taste the spice in the back end more and more now. It really tastes like spice now, and less like a bit of a little afterburn, as I was saying it was before. I just didn't have the words to describe it, maybe, and maybe now I do. That could be all it is, but certainly good.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah, and what do we need to know for next week? So we brought up many things. We brought up the bourbon barrels. We brought up the, I don't know, 3 or 4 different things.
There's
right?
a couple things. We could look at both. There's a few things. What the heck is a single malt versus double?
Oh, okay. Let's do that.
I'm also interested to know.
Stop there. It's my job.
Okay.
Or keep going, and maybe I'll find the easiest one to answer.
I want to know what bourbon is.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Like, is bourbon
Whiskey?
whiskey?
Then my job. Okay, I'll let you know, guys. I'll let you guys know next week. You know why? Because I already know the answer to this, so it's not going to take me that long to figure that one out.
Okay.
So, what is a bourbon? That's the question.
And is it a whiskey?
Okay. I won't give away the secret. But yeah. Okay, so if you're enjoying this, I know we are. Like, subscribe.
Or don't?
Yeah, we're going to be
here and
drinking whiskey.
it's a fun hobby.
Cheers.
Cheers.